Hello, hello, my wonderful spirited living inner goddess team, family, community. Deborah Roth here again this week with, turns out, a duplicate addition to my inner goddess team series, which, as you know, if you've been following me, if you've subscribed to my YouTube channel or know me on Instagram or Facebook, that I've been doing since August something of 2020. And the goddess, the really priestess that I was, that I really wanted to bring to you today is so in alignment with the Pisces new moon that just passed. We're still in the dark of the moon, only a few days after the Pisces new moon, which was on Monday, February 20th. And in fact, I highlighted her in my virtual new moon circle that I do in the wellness universe. Yay, wellness universe. I will send you the link to that. I'll post the link for that in the YouTube description of this. And I thought, she's called the Dreaming Goddess of Malta. Ooh, and she's quite heavy. This is the Dreaming Goddess of Malta. And she is actually a representation, a replica, obviously, of probably one of the oldest artifacts predating Stonehenge, predating the Egyptian pyramids that we have. And you can see she is an extraordinary depiction of a full-breasted, full-bodied goddess figure, priestess figure. What I discovered is that she kind of came to me in November of 2020, and I actually did one of my Inner Goddess Team videos then to highlight her for different reasons, and there's slightly different information there. So I will post that as well for you in the YouTube description so that you can go back and look at that. I'm not going to repeat everything there. Some of this that I'm doing here will be, but what I discovered when I realized, I don't always remember all the goddesses that I've highlighted here. But when I went back and realized that I had done her, I only discovered that at some point today. And I thought, that's okay. She is extraordinary for all kinds of reasons. And I will do her again, which I don't do very often. So hello, Barbara. Wonderful to see you here. So she's called the Sleeping Lady. I call her, and she was introduced to me years ago. She was really one of the first goddess figures that I bought myself, and she sits on my mantle, and she is, I just have to show her again. I guess I need to lift weights today. She is very heavy, and she represents several things. At the point that she was unearthed decades ago, they weren't, or probably more longer than that. You know, I don't remember when she was actually, when archaeologists actually discovered her. But she's been dated back to the Neolithic times from somewhere between 4,000 and 2,500 BCE. And because of that, and because of when she was unearthed, there's a lot that we don't know that we're supposing about her. My first introduction to her, and I don't even remember, it must have been in a woman's circle somewhere early on. I've been doing this for a long time, 30 years. She was introduced as a dreaming figure, as a example, as a representation of dream incubation, which is, as it sounds, it's going deep into your dreams, like we've seen in modern times with Joseph Campbell, or Carl Jung was big on interpreting dreams. In the Native American traditions, when people are sent off on vision quests, or there's a dream yoga, I think, in the Tibetan tradition. So that was my introduction to her. And I'll talk a little bit about her in a minute. What I wanted to do, I'll talk about that aspect in a minute, is just point out that there's some very clear features with her. She is wearing a full-length dress. There is, and I don't know if you can see it, there's embroidery around the hem. What's fascinating is that if you could look closer, which I don't know that I can really, how can I do it? Like that. She actually has a bald head, and with hair that starts somewhere behind her ears. And they're not quite sure if that was the Maltese style then, or if there was something to do with her being able to receive information through her crown chakra, because she's very much about tapping into our intuition and into whatever dream images, whatever dream messages we would get from the divine. And she also, you can't see it really, but apparently the original one, she's on a couch, on a bed, which is actually curving beneath her weight. And the fact that she is copulent, as all the things say, the fact, all the things that I read about her, the fact that she is, I'm trying to hold her so that she's there, that was considered a sign very likely of fertility and abundance, that if, in times when where your next food was coming from was sometimes unknown, the fact that this was a sign to be corpulent, to carry weight, was a sign of wealth or prosperity. So let's see, what other things about her? She is bare-breasted. Her left arm rests over her very full, beautiful breasts. And we can't see her legs or her feet, and nobody quite knows what the meaning of that is. So those are some of the very specific things about her looks. I'm looking down at my notes because as much as I've had her for a long time and I thought I knew a lot about her, which is one of the things I love about doing these videos, I actually learned even more about her this time. Some of the other possible interpretations or meanings about her are that she represents the afterlife. And they do know, apparently, that the people of Malta, of the island, the Maltese islands, excuse me, very likely believed in an afterlife. And it shows her, she's in a very peaceful, rested repose, and she looks just very content where she is, which quite possibly could have been just a reassurance that the afterlife was a place of peace and harmony, and that she was ready to welcome you there. So the other interpretation for her could be simply that she is, excuse me, dry in my place. She's in a place that she is in a place of eternal sleep or death, and it shows that that's an unbothered place for her to be. One of the other very likely ones, and I'm wearing my Venus Willendorf necklace. I don't know how well you can see it, but she is another full-bodied goddess that's, I believe, even older than the sleeping goddess of Malta. And there are several others like this, of these full-bodied goddesses, that these figures, these goddess figures, are representations of the mother, of the earth mother. Because she's big, it carries in that fertility. She's giving birth to her children and then welcoming her back into her space. I'm looking down at her, taking a nap on my couch here. So but as I said, those are all, nobody knows for sure. We don't know, because there aren't written descriptions of what who she was. She was found in this labyrinth-like sanctuary underground in the Hypogeum, it's called, on the island of Malta. And there's actually a beautiful, and I will include the link for that, a beautiful a CD, beautiful MP3 now, that was recorded by Jennifer Barazan, and she recorded something in this Hypogeum, and the sound is just gorgeous. And I played that actually on my New Moon Sister Circle, the virtual one that I did at the Wellness Universe on Monday. So you can hear it. You can hear that in the background there with some of the Pisces new moon ritual work that we were doing. What else did I want to tell you about the Hypogeum? I think there's probably something else. It'll come to me. So she's basically, one of the beautiful ways that I saw her described several different things. I've talked about the fact that we call her the Dreaming Goddess, that she was a trance-channeling shaman, that she was actually, as shamans do in every tradition, ventured deep into the darkness for divine inspiration. She was an oracle, which means that people would come to her and ask and have questions, and she would go into this deep sleep, this deep dreaming place and have visions of what their answers could be. And then on her own, as a sacred practice, she would, this dreaming priestess would go into the dreamland, would go into the dream space and evoke visions of wholeness for personal healing, like in the examples that I gave of people coming to her individually with requests for healing, but also just for the general benefit of the community, and then of Mother Earth. You know, how can we, you know, back then they lived so closely to the earth and revered her in a way that we know we have totally gotten away from. So, I mean, I really think that the energy of the Dreaming Goddess has so many messages for us. So play with them all, and see what resonates most with you, maybe a combination of all of them. So to that end, and this is actually a chant that I sang several times on that November 2020 Dreaming Goddess of Malta video that I did. So I'll sing it through once, and you can go there, and I'm sure, yes, anyway, you can go there and listen to it there. No, wait a minute. I did not share this one. I'm going to share this one, and then I'm going to share an Algonquin water chant, because remember, this is all happening within the Pisces season, right immediately following the Pisces new moon. So I did share this in my YouTube video from 2020. This is a beautiful song from the Fire on the Arrow album from Shelley Graff, who I connected with. She's written beautiful chants, and I've sung with her at women's spirituality festivals, and it's very magical. So this chant in particular that brings in this dream sense goes like this. Sacred women circle round, she calls us to remember. She comes to us within our dreams and holds us close and tender. Women chanting, snaking round, she works her magic powers, teaching us to shed our skin, to weave this sacred hour. Isn't that beautiful? There's some snaky connections, positive, regenerative, magical, feminist-related snake connections to the Dreaming Goddess, which you will hear if you go to that November 20th YouTube video as well. So, lots of new information for me, hopefully information in there that you can connect with. I'd love to hear comments. Go back and watch the video from back in 2020. Listen to the Pisces new moon, or watch the Pisces new moon circle that I did through the Wellness Universe, and subscribe if you like what you've seen here, what you've heard. And please do reach out. If anybody knows more, if there's been more archaeological information about the Dreaming Goddess of Malta, I would certainly love to hear it. And I'm going to close with, because I made a commitment, I made a promise years ago at the same Women's Spirituality Festival that I met Shelley Graff, whose chant I just sang. There was an elder there who had an Algonquin water purification chant that at that point, and this was, probably 10 years ago, easily. And at that point, they were requesting that it not be on the internet. Well, I was curious this time and went to look, and it's now, how can you avoid the internet now? It is now, there's a beautiful video on the internet that you can sing along with, and that describes a little bit more what this water purification chant from the Algonquin elders is about. Basically, it's meant to be shared, particularly on the Pisces new moon, to cleanse and purify all the waters in the planet. So I spread this far and wide. I always do it on the Pisces new moon, and I just do it other times too, because again, like all the ways that we are not tending to our beautiful Mother Earth, I feel like we need to do everything we can to help purify her waters as well. And this goes, and I will include the phonetic spelling of it in the YouTube description. Nibi wabo endayen, aki misqui nibi wabo, heya 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 hey, heya 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 ho, nabi wabo endayen, Aki miskwi na ni biwabo. Heya, 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 hey. Heya, 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 ho. So you've got lots of Pisces new moon, Dreaming Goddess of Malta, all kinds of yummy, dreamlike information and intuitive hits, hopefully, that will come sparkling your way as you really bring all of this into your being. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you again. I will not be back here next week. I will be away, but would love to hear from you. Thanks so much. Bye for now.